Welcome to Part 6 of the Energy Code ACE Title 20 Compliance Training Series. There's a total of 8 videos in the series, focusing on an introductory overview of key aspects of the appliance efficiency regulations, what you need to know and do to certify products so they comply with the regulations, and how to verify that specific products comply. So be sure to check out the parts that apply to you. You can find them on the Energy Code ACE YouTube channel or on the training page of the Energy Code ACE website. In this module, we'll go over the process for certifying products to the California Energy Commission, or CEC, Modernized Appliance Efficiency Database System, or MAEDbS for short. This will include instructions for uploading product data, either manually or through Excel, and how to address errors in the submission process. Certifying appliances to the MAEDbS consists of 6 short steps. You'll first download the CEC certification packet for the appliance you are looking to certify, then log into your MAEDbS account and navigate to the page to submit appliance data. You'll select the appliance category and type, choose whether you want to submit data manually or from an Excel template, and enter all appliance data. From there, you will correct any errors flagged by the MAEDbS, and finally, you'll choose the date that you'd like to make this information publicly available. Let's walk through each step of this process. CEC certification packets contain useful information for each regulated product and make the certification process easier. Each packet includes instructions for creating an account and submitting an application, appliance-specific instructions for the product you are certifying, and an Excel template you can use to submit data for multiple appliances at once. You'll find the certification packets on the CEC Appliance Efficiency Regulations website, www.energy.ca.gov/files/certification-packets-appliances. Before we walk through uploading data manually or with Excel, choose the submittal process that's right for you. If you're certifying 1 to 5 models, choose Manual Upload. If you're certifying 6 to 1,000 models, choose an Excel Upload. We'll go over both submittal processes next. The good news is, as you're entering appliance data, you can use wildcards, asterisks, when needed. This limits the number of models you need to certify. The only qualification is that the performance data for each model must be identical, and the model numbers must only be different due to features unrelated to energy. When entering a single listing for models that have identical data but different model numbers, use an asterisk for each character being replaced. Asterisks can't be used for the first 4 characters and should only replace the characters that are different between model numbers. Appliance data goes through a 2-stage validation process. The first stage begins immediately after submitting your appliance data to the MAEDbS. If the first stage results in a failed entry, you will be able to review the errors and resubmit the data with corrections. After models pass through first stage validation, you can submit entries to the CEC for second and final validation. Now, we will walk through the steps to adding appliance data manually. First, log into the MAEDbS website at cacertappliances.energy.ca.gov. Hover over the Applications button on the blue ribbon at the top of the page and click Submit Appliance Data. For this demonstration, we're going to submit product data for small battery chargers. So from the category drop-down menu, we select Electronics. Then select Small Battery Chargers from the Appliances drop-down. Finally, select Manual for the type of entry and click Next. This will bring you to the Appliance Submittal Declaration. The certifying company information will be auto-filled with the information from the account you logged in with. If you are submitting information as a third-party certifier, you will need to fill in manufacturer information for the manufacturer you are submitting product data for. Click Search and select the correct company and contact name you are submitting data for. If you are a manufacturer and are certifying product data for your own company, you will leave this blank. If you already have a test laboratory associated with this account, select it from the list. Or you can click Add to add the test lab you've used to test the data for this submission. Finally, read through the 7 statements under Declaration and, if you agree, add your name, title, and the date, and click Next. Now we will enter the product data. Under Action, select Add. Fill out the model number, brand, regulatory status, consumer product model number, and the appliance-specific fields. For the brand name, if it does not appear in the drop-down menu, you can type it into the free entry field next to the drop-down, and this will be added to the system. The manufacturer information will be auto-filled. After filling out the product data, click Save. You'll then see the appliance data list with the product data you just added. To add another appliance, click Add. Or, if you're done, click Next to go to the validation screen. The results page will show your past and failed submissions. Appliances in the Past section are ready for submission. If an appliance is listed under the Failed section, you'll have to correct the errors and resubmit. Click on View Failure Reasons by Category to see the errors. For example, you may have left a section blank that required an answer. We will discuss potential errors and how to address errors in more detail later in this module. After the appliances are listed in the Past section, enter the date you'd like the models to be made available to the public and click Submit. After you submit the product data, you'll see a Successful Submission message on the screen. You'll also receive an email from the CEC acknowledging the receipt and listing the submittal number. Now that we know how to submit appliance data manually, we'll walk through how to use Excel to upload appliance data. As a reminder, you can find the certification packets and the Excel template on the CEC Appliance Efficiency Regulations website. For this demonstration, we'll be uploading product data for lamps. Scroll down and click on the Lighting Products category on the CEC website. Then click on Lamp Instructions _ada.zip to download the zip file for lamps. Open the zip file and open the file lamp_new_ada.xlss. You can either unzip all of the files or just open the Excel file. When you open the Excel file, you'll see that some columns are common to all appliances, such as Action, Manufacturer, Brand, Model Number, and Regulatory Status. There are also several columns that ask for appliance-specific data. These column headings will vary depending on the appliance you're submitting data for. When entering data into the Excel file, you'll need to follow a few guidelines. First, under Action, use A for Add if you are adding a new model to the database. Use D for Delete if you are deleting a model currently in the database. Or use C for Change if you are changing a model currently in the database. Under Manufacturer, enter the full manufacturer name as it appears in the MAEDbS. For the brand, enter the full brand name as it appears on the appliance and that it is sold under. Enter the model number as it will appear on the appliance or its packaging. Use an asterisk to serve as a single character wildcard in the model number. As mentioned previously, wildcards can be used for models that have identical performance data but different model numbers. You may use wildcards, for example, with different colored models of the same product. For this example product, we'll enter some fictitious data. Lastly, for the regulatory status, you should reference the appliance-specific instructions from the CEC certification packet to see the valid options. For example, lamps are a federally regulated consumer product, which uses the code C, so we will enter a C in this column. There are other potential codes to use here, such as N for non-federally regulated. Refer to the appliance-specific instructions from the CEC certification packet for more information. After you've entered all data into the Excel file, save it to your desktop. Next, you'll log into the MAEDbS website at cacertappliances.energy.ca.gov. Hover over Applications on the blue ribbon at the top of the page and select Submit Appliance Data. Again, for this demonstration, we are uploading product data for lamps. So under Category, select Lighting Products. Under Appliance, select Lamps. And for the type of entry, we'll select Upload Excel. As with the manual data entry, you'll be taken to the Appliance Submittal Declaration page. The certifying company information will be autofilled with the information from the account you chose to log in with. If you are submitting information as a third-party certifier, you will need to fill in manufacturer information for the manufacturer you are submitting product data for. Click Search and select the correct company and contact name you are submitting data for. If you are a manufacturer and are certifying product data for your own company, you will leave this blank. If you already have a test laboratory associated with this account, select it from the list. Or you can click Add to add the test lab you've used to test the data for this submission. Finally, read through the 7 statements under Declaration, and if you agree, add your name, title, and date, and click Next. Click on Choose File and select your filled-out Excel spreadsheet. When you see the file name on the screen, click Next. New appliance data will appear on the Appliance Data list. On this screen, you can verify that the action, appliance category, appliance type, model number, manufacturer, and brand are correct. Click Next to go to the validation screen. The results page will show the passed and failed submissions. Appliances in the Passed section meet data format criteria and are ready for submission. Finally, enter the display by date and click Submit. After you submit the product data, you'll see a successful submission message on the screen. You'll also receive an email from the CEC acknowledging the receipt and listing the submittal number. Next, we'll talk through how to address and correct errors when submitting appliance data. After you've entered appliance data, click Next to go to the validation screen. If there are items listed under the Failed section, that means there are errors to correct in your submission. Click View Failure Reasons by Category to see the specific reason the submission failed. Click Previous to return to the validation screen. If you only have a few errors, You can correct the errors for each model individually by clicking Select next to the appliance type. This will allow you to correct the data for each model. After you've corrected the errors, click Save on the Appliance Data Form screen. If you uploaded data from Excel and have multiple errors, open the Excel spreadsheet and fix all errors, then re-upload the document with the errors corrected. After resubmitting product data, you'll be taken back to the results page that displays appliances in passed or failed sections. Again, appliances in the passed section meet data format criteria and are ready for submission. Finally, enter the display by date and click Submit. After you submit the product data, you'll see a successful submission message on the screen. You'll also receive an email from the CEC acknowledging the receipt and listing the submittal number. Before we conclude, here is a recap of the key points from today's session. Appliance data may be submitted manually by completing the online form in the MAEDbS or through an Excel template that is specific to each appliance type. Once you submit product data, MAEDbS will conduct a first-stage validation of the data that will either result in a passed or failed submission. If there are errors in the submission, you can review and resubmit the data. After appliance data is successfully submitted to the MAEDbS, CEC staff will complete the final round of validation. You will receive an email from the CEC accepting your submission or asking you to correct any errors they found. Thank you for joining us for Part 6 of the Title 20 video series. Be sure to check out the other sections that are of interest. If you have questions and comments about the Title 20 technical requirements or compliance process, you can contact us at energycodeace.com by clicking the Contact Us link at the bottom of the page. You'll need to be signed in to Energy Code ACE to access the request form, or reach out to the CEC by emailing or phoning their Title 20 call center. If you think this content was helpful, please consider clicking the like button, and we encourage you to add a comment to give us more detailed feedback. To stay up to date on Title 20 and the latest Energy Code ACE offerings that will help you comply, be sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.